welcome back to the channel. So for a few years now I've been on this property and doing my mechanic stuff. Over the last 6-8 months I've been doing my trash business, machine shop stuff and everything like that. About a year and a half ago I bought this property, and this was originally a place that built awnings. So I bought the business with the property and everything, and it's kind of a unique awning. So here's some really old ones that are back from the 70s. So they're aluminum panels, they lock together, they're self-supporting aluminum, or this is an aluminum gutter that's built in. You can use aluminum or steel posts, aluminum I-beam, so everything is aluminum on these things, and you can get quite a bit of a span. Like you can probably, this is probably 20 feet. You could span this without the I-beam technically, with the newer product and everything that we're doing. So I bought this company and been installing these, and that led me, you know, everyone was asking for carports. So we started doing carports. We had the exhaust bender, and we bought the square tubing die for the exhaust bender, and that allowed us to build our own trusses. And yeah, so pretty basic there. We've actually built, I think I've got some videos, we've built these that are massive, like 20 foot by 40 foot. And I'm building one right now that's 35 by 35. We go to a different material on some of that stuff, but I've actually built a 20 by 30 out of the 2-inch. So a lot of people wanted these carports. These are a lot cheaper than my aluminum system. So bolt these directly to the ground, but we put this on a shed platform. We're gonna build a shed out of this for a customer. Customer backed out, we never finished. So then we started getting a lot of calls on canvas, and there's only one place in town that does canvas, and they're very, very expensive. So I had a customer that just said, you know, let's do it, let's see what it takes. So I started looking around and couldn't get anyone to work with, so decided to get set up to do canvas ourselves. So first thing we went and bought was this Conso 339 RBL-25, 25 being the amount of inches between the needle and the inside of the head. So you need these long arms like this to be able to feed through a lot of material, so you could bunch it up in here and get into the center and sew into the center of the canvas awning. So unfortunately, this thing had a broken bobbin piece right here, and it's got, I think the bobbin's out of there, it's got some string wound up in the bottom there. So cool enough, I found a sewing machine mechanic. He lives the next city over, so he came over and he's ordered parts for this, got this thing going. Or not got this going, we're gonna get this thing going, so we gotta go through all of this machine and get it going, but it's gonna take a week or two for parts to get in, and I wanna finish this awning next week. So we went down and bought this Singer heavy duty. I think these are $400 or $500, and this is like the biggest machine that Singer makes, Joann's, whatever. You go on their site, and this is like their top-of-the-line machine, and that's all they really supply. So we bought it, thought it would work great. We were told by another guy that sews that, yeah, this will work fine. So then I got my 2 canvas people out here. We're making a 22-foot long by 12-foot wide canvas cover for a frame that we're building. And not real thick material, but you're going to have 2 stitches down 22 foot long, and these machines only do 1 stitch at a time. This one is a twin needle. There's 2 needles here. It can do both stitches at once. We haven't been able to get it running, but So that way you can just rock 2 stitches down 22 foot at one time. But with these other ones, you're going to have to do 22 foot down, 22 foot back. And we've got 4 panels we're putting together. And we've got all this other sewing. So everyone told me that that is not going to work. It's going to fail. It's going to break. It's not what we want. And then so we found this, an old Singer 211 A166 something A. I think it used to say AA. So industrial sewing machine that you got a big 3rd horsepower probably. Let's see what that thing is. Oh, 1/2 horsepower, 1720 RPM clutch motor. So we've already verified this thing works. Very, very touchy. This one has a servo motor on it, where we can adjust the speed all the way down to 350 RPM up to 3400. I've used it a little bit. It was very controllable, very easy to use. So that's probably what we'll use in the future. Use this for a backup. And my wife ended up just wanting this for the house. She's going to play around with that one inside the house. So yeah, we've got, so I think I paid about $3,000 for this one. $1,200 for this guy, and almost $500 for that guy. So we've definitely got more money in sewing machines that I'm going to make on this job. We went and got thread. This is a, well, they call it a Tech, don't they? Let's see, a Tech 70 or a T70 or whatever, I think is what that was. Oh, size 69. In the same color. This is a size 92. Oh yeah, Tech's 92. So these machines will feed this. They won't really feed this. There's no way for these machines to hold that. Before I knew that, I went and got a normal bobbin, and I was going to unwind it and basically until this thing fits over that. But was being told that that won't work. Plus it's got this little tiny bobbin inside here that's going to run out pretty quick. These bobbins in here are pretty big. They hold a lot more. So, they're going to get sewing on this today, sew some panels up, see how it goes. Oh yeah, I went to a, let's see, it's right here. I went to a company called Sailrite, which is the popular company in this industry, and got this swing away binder. 1-inch swing away binder. That'll bind the edges. I went and got a big roll of their binding. We bought the fabric from them, and we bought a hot knife. That works really well. They've already cut with that. Some of this, we may or may not use this, not sure yet, but what do they call that? Piping or welting. Some of the, I still don't know anything about this, so some of the tape, buttons, some stainless steel tarp hangers. So we're getting everything together to put this, the first awning together. I got her a corner to work on fitting the corners to it. So let me show you the frame that we're building. So this is the stuff we're used to, we're already set up. So let me go in the shop. I got my guy building the frame. Alright, so we've got the 2-inch square tubing that we rolled. This is the top side. These are the poles we've already set and concreted in at the customer's property. The sides will slide over this guy. And then we've got these little cups that we made with our bender. Smoothed everything out, no sharp edges. So we've got, this is 20 something feet. We've got 4 center posts, 2 outside posts. We've got all of our posts, everything already cut over here. And then we've got flat strap, 3/16 inch and 3/4 tubing. This will all get cleaned up. Everything's gonna get painted black. That's what the customer wanted. And then this will be glued and screwed to the underneath the eave of the house. So we'll probably etch the back of this, epoxy it, put in screw holes, see if we can go find studs and stuff. This is pretty lightweight material, so we don't need a whole lot. And then the customer did not, originally we were building a big beam for this. He didn't want a beam, so we've got a removable center post. I told him that's gonna be very flimsy. We slid some 1 3/4 in here to stiffen it up in the center a little bit, but it's still gonna be a little bit wobbly. So we're gonna get this frame all laid out for him today, and they're gonna wrap this frame in canvas. The posts are going to slide through a pocket in the canvas, go into the house, and set down into that. So every post is gonna be holding the canvas. And then we're gonna run buttons all the way down the front, all the way down the sides. Still haven't figured out the rear, but we're probably gonna put those 1/4 turn locks. I just have to figure out how to make that waterproof. If we flap around a piece and button it up top to kind of help with water a little bit. And then we're gonna put bungees right here on the legs to kind of hold tension a little bit on this thing. Other than that, we'll see how it goes. So the metal and fabrication we're used to, we have no problem with that. My guy can whip that out. This is the first time we're sewing. It's pretty hard to wrap your head around when you don't have someone to train you and when you haven't done it before. So we're going to get all the sewing hopefully done today. Well, not all of it, but we're going to start on the sewing, build the top panel, and start getting that going. Hopefully my wife can figure that side out, and which she's got 2 helpers going to help her out on that side. We're going to go install another one of the carport awnings, and I've got several other awning jobs going with the locked together panels that I've got. So got one big problem on another awning from Metal Depots that was, I've got a whole video coming up, pre-engineered. Turned out that was not correct. I got sold on something that would not pass code. So we're kind of in a battle with that right now on who's paying for that mistake, because it cost me a lot of money. But yeah, this is kind of another business we run out of here, and been growing it a little bit. We got pretty good at most of these awnings. See how we do on canvas. So this is the machine that we use. I've got 2-inch dies for square tubing. This is what we use for exhaust. And we've got 1-inch dies for square tubing. This thing works really, really well for bending this stuff. So kind of a multi-purpose machine. Just everything's coincidence around here. Bought this for exhaust. Ended up getting into this awning business and realized we can do other things, add on to the business, and start building trusses with this thing, which saves us a ton of money. These square tubing pieces, like 24 foot long, are like 65 bucks. So we can build trusses and stuff extremely cheap and get exactly what we want, exact dimensions. So installing the canvas onto this house, the awning that we built. We came previously and put in the posts. So those are concreted into the ground. Left them tall so we can figure out height. Yeah, so there's my view for today. Durango, Colorado. So we've got our post that's going to drop in the front right there. Those are angled to adjust the height or the angle. And then we're gonna bolt straight onto the face here. And that one should be fine.
How far?
So yeah, see how this goes. Previous canvas awning was just kind of a really nice piece of canvas that someone sewed for them. I guess this is 10 years old. Nice thick canvas, but it had a real cheap like pipe frame. Really, yeah, really odd little frame up here. Looks like, I don't know, 3/8 half-inch round steel. So definitely not a good idea for that stuff. Let's see how this goes. So here's the finished product. So got a rail onto the house there, sealed up with I think they call them taco rails or something like that. We got our poles going through these saddles. These are just sitting in saddles over here. I don't know if you can see that because of the sun, but it's nice and tight. We have it snapped down on the front, so we got buttons all the way down through there. Don't know if that's the best system, but that's the one we picked for this one. So everything's removable so they can have solar gain here in the winter time. And then we tried to get it as high as possible so they still have their view. So yeah. We're gonna end that video there. I didn't get a whole lot of video of the awning stuff, but yeah, it was just kind of a preliminary, you know, setup on what was going on. We ended up getting this sewing machine fixed and doing a little bit with that. I still got to practice some, but it's all good to go now. We had this this part replaced here. Had a guy come out and replace that. These are some bigger threads. They were like a Tex, like 200 something, I think. Let's see. I don't know if, yeah, 270. So a whole lot bigger thread that I can sew with this, and I like the way that that looks compared to the thread we were using. So we might try doing them with the larger thread for now on. I found this roll of piping or welting or whatever. It's a sewable thing. It's a little sun faded, but we might try using this on some of our personal projects to practice with. And I guess the sewing machine will sew right through that. So some of those deeper layers have never been touched by the sun. I don't know how old this thing is. So anyways, the snap, the button system, it worked, but it's not a good system at all. You have to be too accurate. I mean, there's no room for error on this stuff. So it takes a lot of strength to get these things stretched out where they need to be. They have a system that you sew on, and that way you can lace it together, which is what I'm going to order and try next. And that way it's pretty forgiving. You can just run rope through it and lace it down. So yeah, this is the rail we ended up using. I call it taco rail, but whatever you want to call it. So we used the piping over there, but so that just sewed on, and that's what holds the awning, and that's probably fairly waterproof enough. Like I said, we use this piping stuff here, but we're going to get into using some better materials. So that ended up going in there. And we kind of just bound this into the canvas where it was covered on all the sides and everything like that. I also ended up getting another binder that I found that's for thicker binding. So we'll see how that thing ends up working out. I feel like this binding was a little bit small, the 1 inch, because when you fold it over, I mean, you just barely have, I would say, 3/8 of an inch or whatever left over. So yeah, we'll see how the next job goes. That was a huge learning curve. really difficult to get the first one knocked out. The second one's going to go a lot better, but there's probably still quite a bit of learning to do. So I know this is a lot longer video than most people are willing to watch on canvas stuff. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I'm going to have some more videos coming up. I want to build some other canvas awnings, maybe for personal use, to practice a little bit and get some of this down. So yeah, like and subscribe, and hopefully I've got some more good content for you guys. So thanks for watching. We'll see you the next time.